Here we go again, ladies and gents. We are in the thick of the WBE Week 1 matches, but we're still getting those draft analyses out. Let's talk today about Versus Network and the Gardevoir Guardians. Alright guys, here we are. Here is the team for the Gardevoir Guardians with Versus Network. First up, let's talk the gears. The gears here is pretty simple. We have Gmax Grim with that Gmax Snooze. I can definitely see a either screen setting and then Gmaxing, get the sleeps off. Grimmsnarl coming with pretty much anybody on this team. Or I could actually see a very offensive Grimmsnarl coming with Raichu for fake out or Butterfree for sleep coverage. Second gear we have here is a very strong Shadow Tag gear. Obviously Gothitelle here, very strong in its ability to keep Pokemon on the field without being able to switch out. Some great breakers on this team too, between Incineroar and Mantine and Machamp, to be able to really lock something into place, Dynamax in its face, and make sure that they do not have an ability to escape. Finally, I'll give a special shout out to the Sleep Core. He's running a lot of things with sleep potential. He's got Vileplume, he's got Butterfree, and he's got the Grimmsnarl with Gmax Snooze going on here. So a lot of potential for a lot of things sleeping on the field for the Versus Network. Alright, let's run team breakdown and the Poke highlights quick. First off, we have Grimmsnarl, obviously the Gmax form of it. The sprite was really kind of bad, so I didn't put it there, sorry. Grimmsnarl, really strong. It's got Prankster, it's got the ability to set screens for itself. Spirit Break is its signature move. It also has the ability to run Dark type moves, and its Gmax form, obviously as mentioned before with Gmax Snooze, being able to set up yawns on your opponent's side of the field. Really strong brain for a very sleep heavy team. Next up, we're talking about one of our best VGC competitors, a world's champion across many teams. We're talking Incineroar. Incineroar super strong in the meta, as it always tends to be. It's got Fake Out, it's got Flare Blitz, it's got just tanky buffness to it. You can run it Dynamax, you can run it regular. It doesn't really matter whether you're running it support or not with Parting Shot. It's just a strong pick overall for the Versus Network. Next up, we have one of my favorite Pokemon in Raichu. Raichu, super strong. It's got the Fake Out. It can run an offensive set with T-Bolt, Surf. It's just got great potential overall to come in, be really quick, even get the hell out of dodge with Volt Switch. Super strong brain for that Fake Out potential in the front of the team. Next up, we're rocking one of our sleepers. We've got Butterfree here. Butterfree tends to run Focus Sash most of the time. It runs Sleep Powder. It runs Rage Powder. Its redirect potential is phenomenal. If any of you guys have not seen any of A-Drive's videos of Road to Master Ball using bug types, Butterfree comes in key almost every time with those Rage Powders. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely a great pick for the Versus Network. Great potential from a bug type. Next up, we're rocking a funny, and I call two of the picks that Versus Network has picked up, I call them the cursed picks because they never seem to turn out very well in the long run. But we're talking Mantine. Mantine, super strong special attacker, very great with Hurricanes, and the ability to trap opponents with Whirlpool and such. Strong Scald user, just a very strong special core overall in Mantine. And its flying typing, giving it the ability to be immune to ground type moves like Earthquake and such, could come in key, but yet to see Mantine really make it into the semifinals for a WBE championship. Next up, let's talk about the Hulk. We've got Machamp here. Machamp super strong. It's got Fists of Fury. It can run close combat. It's got so much potential with all of its fighting type moves. It's also very good at getting around with its very physically bulky strength and just strong ability to put out different typings depending on what type of punch you're running on it. Obviously, Ice, Thunder, and Fire Punch, all good tech moves to have on Machamp. Another unique bring for the Versus Network, we have Sandslash here. I'm not sure whether he's running it for a specific reason on the team. I don't necessarily see it filling any gaps, but again, strong Pokemon in its medium speed tier, ground typing, it's got Earthquake, it's got Stealth Rocks, it's got Rapid Spin. There's some interesting setup moves and combinations here we could see Versus Network using for this, but overall, not a bad pick, a low-tiered ground-type Pokemon. Following that up, we have one of the stronger picks, as previously mentioned in our gears. We've got Gothitelle here. Gothitelle, super strong with Shadow Tag. It's got a great special attack stat, and this thing really is meant to come in, start wailing on things, and make sure that they do not leave alive. Great Pokemon to bring, depending on what he sort of matches it up in front with for the team. Next up, we have Inteleon. This is the regular one, not the Gmax one, but still a very strong Pokemon with its Sniper ability, Snipe Shot, its signature move with that high crit chance to be able to do massive amounts of damage out. It also does get access to Screens and Blizzard and a bunch of other moves that, depending on what he's trying to run with it, it could fill a couple of gaps in this team. Definitely a pick to look out for in the coming matches. Following that, we have the second Curse pick that I previously talked about, the first in Mantine, the second in Haunter. Haunter, another strong Pokemon with an Inviolite. It's got that Poison Ghost type coverage, but overall, yet to make it very high up in the WBE League standings. Still strong though overall. It's got Sludge Bomb, it's got Destiny Bond, it's got Shadow Sneak, and Shadow Ball as well. It's got good potential, good priority, but at the same time, not as great as its evolutionary counterpart. And finally, rounding out the team, we have another sleeper, another Grass-type Pokemon in Vileplume. Vileplume, obviously super strong with its special attack stat. It's got Petal Dance, it's got Solar Beam. It plays quite well with half of this team being able to sort of go in, put things to sleep, and then start dishing out some major damage. Alright, let's talk leads. Leads for this team I think are pretty simple. We kind of covered them in the gears, but as per usual, we'll run through them again. First off is Grimmsnarl and pretty much anything on this team. My bet's going to be Gothitelle, but Grimmsnarl, Gothitelle out front, either setting screens up immediately in the face of the enemy, or just going for that Gmax snooze and then having Gothitelle make sure they stay there until they wake up and dishing out major damage might be pivotal for Versus Network to really just come in and start dominating the field. Second to that, obviously going to be the Incineroar core. Intimidate coming off of Incineroar, super important. It's got that fake out lead in. He could also run double fake out if he paired it with Raichu and be able to really dish out some weird amounts of feeling out the team in the front line with these two Pokemon. Finally, special shout out to the Sleep core. I could also see Butterfree and Vileplume, Butterfree and Grimmsnarl coming out front, being able to redirect those moves with Rage Powder, or just to be able to point and click and point things to sleep with very high accuracy. Alright, time to talk gaps. Gaps for this team, I think, are going to be very limited in the aspect of what they're actually doing from a support perspective. Obviously, a lot of Pokemon like Vileplume, Butterfree, even Machamp in some regard if it gets burned, weak to the fire types that are coming in various other teams. But overall, with the coverage from Incineroar here, I think the weakest part would be if they have a bad leadoff on a team that is prepared to deal with screens. Other side of this coin, they are pretty fast overall. It's probably one of the fastest teams we've covered so far. So a Trick Room team coming up against this and getting Trick Room off successfully might be a very important thing to have to deal with in the coming days. Obviously, some Trick Room Pokemon on the team, including Gothitelle, so there is coverage potential here, but it just depends on whether Versus Network is running it that week. Finally, I think the match to watch here is going to be pretty straightforward. The match to watch with this team is going to be against K-Cray again. K-Cray obviously strong in the sun, strong with that Venusaur sleep powder herself, so the amount of sleep potential that will be coming in that match I think is going to be through the roof. I think we're going to spend a lot of time in those couple of matches watching the turns just tick by as the sleep goes on and on. There you have it, guys. That is the Gardevoir Guardians and Coach Versus Network. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. We're going to be kicking out Week 1 coverage towards the far side of Week 1 just because I do have to compile clips together and such for it. So look forward to Week 1 coverage of matches and big clips and important things that we're seeing throughout the week. As always, make sure you're clicking that subscribe button up here. Make sure you're checking out Versus breakdown of his team right up here. And we'll catch y'all for the next one. Peace.